Bristol Community College, Mathematics with Dan Avedikian, Math 011, Arithmetic, Section 4.7, Problem 8. This is Section 4.7, Problem 8. It says a local car dealership sold 30 pickup trucks last month. If pickup trucks account for 60% of their total sales for the month, how many vehicles did they sell altogether? So this is a pretty regular percent sort of a question. So for questions like this, what I like to do is read through it, find the important parts, and try to rewrite the whole thing as A is P% of B. And if I can write it that way, I plug the information into the formula A over B equals P over 100. And I solve. So, what are the important parts? We have 30, 60%. Those are the important parts. So how do they fit in? So the 30 pickup trucks sold are 60% of some overall number. So what I really want to find out is 30 is 60% of what number? It's unknown, so I just leave it as B. It's an unknown. 30 is 60% of B. Now that I have it in that form, that's the important parts, I can plug it into this formula. So the A that I have to plug in is 30 equals really comes from the is, 60%, so the P is 60. The percent is really where the 100 comes from. And then B is unknown, so it stays B. So I filled in the formula. I have only one unknown, so I can solve for that unknown. And the way I do that is I cross multiply. 60 times B is 60B. And then the other way, I have 30 times 100. That's going to be 3,000 now. How do I get that so fast? Those are big numbers. Essentially what I do is I just ignore the zeros. I really have, in terms of non-zero multiplication, 3 times 1. That's very easy. 3 times 1 is 3. Now when I do that, how many zeros do I ignore? I ignore 3 zeros, so I put the 3 zeros back. A 3 with 3 zeros, there's the 3,000. And of course you could do it on a calculator, you could do it out the long way, but you still get 3,000. Now I want what B equals, not 60 times B. So B is 3,000 over 60. Now, if your math teacher will allow you to use a calculator for this class, you can simply do the numerator of 3,000 divided by the denominator of 60 equals, and I know the answer right away, it's 50. I can actually do it in my head, and I'll show you how. If you don't have a calculator and you don't know my wacky shortcuts, you can just do the bottom divides into the top, the numerator, how many times. That's still going to be 50. Now, how did I know it was 50? So, essentially, I can cancel a 0. I'll start with that. Right? Basically, I'm dividing 10 into the numerator, divide 10 into the denominator. I'll have 300 over 6. 300 over 6 is still very big, too big for most people to do in their head. But if I just temporarily pretend I can't see one of the zeros, I have 30 divided by 6. Well, that I can do. 30 divided by 6 is 5. And now when I put that 0 back that I just pretended I couldn't see, 5 with a 0 after it, there's the 50. So however you do it, you'll get 50. B is 50. Now, with a lot of these application problems for percents, when you get to the last answer, you have to ask yourself, is that really the final answer to the question? Is that what the question is asking? And in this case, it is. So 30 pickups were sold. That represents 60% of what overall number of vehicles? That overall number is 50. So for that month, they sold 50 vehicles. 30 of them were pickup trucks, and that means it was 60% of the overall sales.